Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. Thank you for joining me. This is a major arcana reading for the weekend of 14th and 15th of November 2020. Hope you're well. There we go. It is 10 past 5 p.m. as I'm recording this, and it's completely dark outside. Only 5 weeks to midwinter. 6 weeks away from more light. It all goes round and round and round, doesn't it? So let's see what we get. Let's see which stop on the tarot merry-go-round we're going to come to first. Sorry, I need another shuffle. That was funny. I'm going to keep going. Okay. The Hermit in the upright. The realization that truly the answers are within. And they are. And it's the same answer for all of us. It's love. Judgment in the reverse. The non-requirement, or perhaps the having done of reappraisal or big kind of global appraisal on something. So we have the answer within, and the choice to take oneself away from the hurly-burly and sit with one's lamp quietly, alone, and go in. There's only one thing in there. Love. And judgment in the reverse. Does this really need reiterating? The moon in reverse. Perhaps questions we've been asking are redundant. I love it when it does that. Yeah, it's a kind of redundancy, isn't it? Death in the upright. And sitting at the bottom of the pack, in case you're interested, the High Priestess. Right. I think I've said it all. I've done the reading as I've been going along. I'm quite struck by the similarity. Even looking at them upside down, I've just done a bit of a sort of a hanged man mental visual exercise, because these two are next to each other, and seeing them upside down like that, it's like, okay, we've got this bright entity here kind of shining down onto all this activity going on here. There's quite a similarity there in form, you know. Got a lot of action going on at the bottom, sort of group action going on at the bottom, and singular action in the shape of the moon and the angel of judgment going on at the top. Interesting. And the disc of the moon has become the halo of judgment. But they're both here in the reverse. And perhaps what doesn't need to be gone over again is in judgment in the reverse, the non going over again of old ground. Perhaps the nature of that ground that is not being gone over again and hiked out and reassessed, and, you know, to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Perhaps what is not being reassessed is whatever it was that was swilling around or appeared to be swilling around in that moon card, because that's here in the reverse as well. And on the outside, bookending those two, we've got the Hermit and Death. As I said, going within, and the realization of the necessity to go within to find out what really, really matters. And I said it was love, and it is. That's it. So where is the love in this? Where is the love in death here? It's in its non-negotiability. Just as we know that the light in that lantern is love, and it never goes out. And therefore it is utterly reliable and non-negotiable and simply the way it is. And that the way it isness, if I can say that, is also reflected here in Judgment in the reverse. No need to check. It is the way it is. Or to coin a phrase, it is what it is. And there's an is what it isness about this as well. Speaking of this lantern, I've got an old storm lantern with an iron frame and a beautiful moulded glass, blown glass kind of lantern bit. Really old, and it's all a bit rusty. I should get it, maybe one of these days I'll get it clean it up and spark it up. But it's wonderful. On the glass, the moulded glass, like actual lamp bit, it's got in glass around the bottom. I never go out. It's really nice. And it doesn't. It never goes out. It never goes out. And this never passes you by. Never. And we dread this. But I tell you what, if it never came for you, it would be so lonely. So lonely. Well, I'm not going to go on about it. So yeah, confusion and perhaps lies and insane questions and insane associations. It's like saying, what did you have for lunch? Oh, yeah, the algebra on the shelf in the greenhouse. You're like, what? Or I'm going to the shops. Do you want anything? I think Tim's out milking the cow, so the neighbours are having biscuits. You're like, right, okay, I'm just going to go to the shops. It's that kind of mad non sequiturs, yeah, and as I say, bonkers sort of associations and linkages of things. It's like, oh my God, really? What, you've put 2 + 2 together and made armadillo? That's what I'm getting from that today, but it's in the reverse. And in a way, sort of going back over that, right, 2 + 2 makes, well, of course it makes armadillo. Well, everybody knows that. Are you an armadillo denier? It's like, do we really need to hoik this out and go over it? Really? To find out if 2 + 2 actually does make armadillo? No, we don't, because it doesn't. That's That's what I'm getting from this. Let's get a few more. Oh, it started off so serious and lovely with the hermit with his lamp and the love inside, and end up with silly questions about armadillos and biscuits and sandwiches and Tim milking the cow and algebra. Never mind. And the loneliness of not dying. Devil in the reverse. Yeah. This ridiculous, obsessional, dark silliness, excuse me, is leaving. It's leaving. And, you know, that kind of 2 + 2 makes armadillo. Well, of course it does. Everybody knows that. And if you don't know that, then you're one of the sheeple. It is that kind of, it is actually quite enjoyable to let yourself go into that kind of utter Twilight Zone. It is Twilight Zone, all that. It can be quite enjoyable, especially if you haven't really got a lot going on in your life. It's like, oh, you know, my life sucks a little bit and I'm bored and all this, but I know that 2 + 2 makes armadillo. Shh, everybody knows that. It can be quite enjoyable and quite exciting. I knew some people very well who kind of went down that road. I was invited to sort of go with them, not about armadillos. That just jumped out. I'll tell you about that another time. It was nothing to do with armadillos. It didn't end well. The Tower. The Tower. Okay, now the Tower is partly about bad luck and kind of just happening to be where the lightning strikes. It's partly about that, but it's more to do with the fact that having built that tower, the builder of the tower feels unassailable and isn't. It's about the fact of nothing, and it is quite similar in a way to death. Because with death, look what's getting swept away here. All the jewels and the weapons and the books and the fancy hats and the chains of state, the medals and the tools and all of that stuff that we accrue and build up, and that a powerful, successful entity like heaps up around themselves. And you can imagine perhaps there's a treasure chamber in that tower where it's all kept, and it's like, right, okay, this is it. I've got my armor, I've got my my insurance, I've got my all my power, you know, I'm safe, and I can sit up the top of that tower and watch everything that's going on. Just control. There is no such thing. there is no such thing as that on a permanent basis. And as I've said before, the death card is essentially impermanence. And I mean, you can't call death anything to do with luck. You know, it's not that the lucky don't die and the unlucky do, or the other way round. Excuse me. It's lovely when it's hot, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing to do with luck in the death card, and there's kind of a bit to do with luck in the Tower card, but as I say, it's mainly to do with the end of the illusion of security, permanent, total, And there's a kind of arrogance about this degree of security as well. And I'm reminded suddenly of the line in Thelma and Louise after Louise has shot that guy and they're on the run, and Thelma gets a bit drunk at some point and sort of goes, she goes like, wasn't expecting that, was he? Like this, and she's laughing about it, and Louise gets a bit like hacked off with her. Fair enough. But the owner, the builder of that tower, was not expecting that. And the more you have, the more there is to lose. You know, the higher the monkey climbs, the further he's going to fall. You know, it's all to do with that. Wow. Okay, right, I'm going to get one more and then I'm going to bottom this out. Sorry, I need another shuffle. There we go. Oh, that was a bit slippy slidey. The Emperor in the upright. Right, well there's a kind of change of there's a succession here. There's a succession from one, it's a regime change. It's regime change. And the going over, the looking within, the what, you know, what's the truth? Love is the truth. That's the Hermit. Judgment and the Moon in reverse. You know, this madness does not need to be reviewed. It's bonkers. Okay, Death, the Devil in reverse, the Tower, finito, bye bye, bye bye, and regime change. I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Namaste.